Why are browsers vulnerable in general? And can you maybe give some examples of how they've been targeted in the past?
So I usually talk about two buckets of browser vulnerabilities, or how they've been targeted, which is a better question. So the first set is, like we said, the browser is a very large footprint for a software. It does many things. If you think of what Netscape Navigator did to what a browser does today, it's a whole system in itself, right? It can do audio, video, you do Zoom, do shopping, all of these things. So when you look at it from that perspective, that footprint can have 0 days, right? So it has its own vulnerabilities. Like I said, the web-to-speech API vulnerability, and last year I think there were a few hundred vulnerabilities, be it Chrome or Edge, on each one of those, and those can be exploited, right? So there are threat actors who will take those 0-day vulnerabilities and send you to a particular website, which then exploits that 0-day, and you get malware, or you get infected. Now the second one to me is more interesting. The second way a browser is targeted is by using the browser's own capabilities and kind of bypassing the network visibility and manifesting in the browser, right? So I'll give you an example. So if you've ever done business with Japan, they love to use password protected files. So when you do business with Japan, somebody will send you a password protected file, and a follow-up with that will be they'll send you the password. It's just the way they do business there, and it's been something they've been doing it that way for decades. Now, knowing that, how the threat actor targeted some of the Japanese customers or Japanese enterprises was, I will send you a password protected file via browser. So on the network, you really cannot do anything about a password protected file. So you have to make a decision of, do I send it to the endpoint? When you send it to the endpoint, the password and the badness and everything there manifests, right? So we call it highly evasive adaptive threats, where there's a host of techniques like the one I just described, where they're targeting the browser by using its own capabilities to evade other, inspection and detection. So I put that in two buckets. So when you say how are browsers vulnerable, there's a browser footprint itself that can have 0 days, but then there are browser capabilities that I can hijack. And those are the two main ways that I would bucketize how browsers are targeted.